The smell hit me before she even entered the room. It was like something had died and been left to rot in the sun. I gagged, barely holding my composure. This was Princess Nondi, the most beautiful yet most cursed woman in all of Mbobone. I never thought I'd be the one to spill this, but what I witnessed at the palace of Mbobone was something out of a dramatic movie. My name is Luozi, and I've got a story that will blow your mind. Princess Nondi, the only daughter of King Tobo, was the talk of the kingdom. She was breathtakingly beautiful, richer than anyone could imagine, and had a smile that could light up the darkest room. But there was one problem: her smell. No one really talked about it openly, but everyone knew. You could smell Princess Nondi from a mile away. It was so bad that people joked she could wilt a flower just by walking past it. They said no man could stand close to her, let alone marry her. One day, while I was sewing in the corner of the grand hall, the king called for a meeting. He wanted to find a suitor for Princess Nondi. I couldn't believe my ears. I thought, who's gonna marry her with that smell? King Tobo invited the richest, most powerful men from all over Africa. They all arrived, dressed in their finest clothes, ready to win the princess's hand. But the moment she walked into the room, the air changed. The suitors started coughing and covering their noses discreetly. Some even looked like they were going to faint. Prince Kwame from Ghana was the first to speak. He tried to be polite. "Your Majesty, Princess Nondi is a vision of beauty," he said, holding his breath. "But is there perhaps any herbal remedy for certain personal issues?" The king's face turned red with anger. "Are you implying my daughter has a problem?" Kwame stuttered, "No, Your Majesty. I meant no disrespect." Then Prince Adewale from Nigeria stepped forward. "Your Majesty, we all respect you and the princess. But this smell is too much. We cannot marry her." The room went silent. King Tobo looked like he was about to explode. Princess Nondi, on the other hand, had tears in her eyes. She ran out of the hall, and I felt a pang of sympathy for her. Later that evening, I saw Princess Nondi sitting alone in the garden. I decided to approach her, despite the smell. "Princess," I said softly, "I'm just a tailor, but maybe I can help." She looked at me with a mix of hope and despair. "How, Luozi? No one wants to be near me." I thought for a moment. Maybe there's a healer, someone who knows about these things. We can travel quietly, find a solution. Her eyes lit up. "You would do that for me?" I nodded. "I would." The next morning, we set off on our secret journey. We visited countless healers and herbalists, but nothing worked. Just when we were about to give up, we found an old woman in a remote village who claimed she had a cure. "You must bathe in the river at sunrise for 7 days," she instructed. "And drink this herbal potion." Princess Nondi did as she was told. Princess Nondi's eyes sparkled with a new hope, and for the first time in days, she smiled. "Thank you, Luozi," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. I nodded, feeling a sense of purpose. "We are not done yet, Princess. But I believe this will work." The next morning, we arrived at the river before dawn. The water was cold, but Nondi bravely stepped in. For 7 days, she bathed at sunrise, drinking the herbal potion the healer had given us. Each day, I could see her growing more confident, the worry lines on her face smoothing out. On the 7th day, something incredible happened. As Nondi stepped out of the river, the usual odor was gone. In its place was a subtle, sweet fragrance, like wildflowers in bloom. We both laughed and cried, overwhelmed with relief and joy. Back at the palace, the news spread quickly. The suitors were summoned again, but this time, there was a sense of curiosity and hope. When Princess Nondi entered the hall, she looked more beautiful than ever, her confidence shining through. Prince Kwame was the first to react. He fell to one knee, holding out a ring. "Princess Nandi, will you marry me?" Nandi smiled graciously but shook her head. "Thank you, Prince Kwame, but my heart has chosen another." All eyes turned to Prince Adewale. He stepped forward, his eyes filled with admiration and respect. "Princess Nandi, you are truly remarkable. Will you marry me?" Nandi nodded, tears of happiness in her eyes. "Yes, Prince Adewale. I will." The kingdom erupted in celebration. For days, there were feasts, dances, and fireworks. The entire kingdom came together in joy. Colorful decorations adorned every street and house. Traditional dances and music filled the air. There were fireworks, feasts, and laughter everywhere. As I watched Princess Nandi and Prince Adewale dancing together under the starlit sky, I knew that this was a new beginning for her and for the kingdom. But that wasn't the end of the story. The palace was buzzing with whispers and rumors. Some said the healer had used dark magic to rid Nandi of her curse. Others claimed it was a conspiracy to trick the suitors into marriage. As a simple tailor, I never imagined my journey with Princess Nandi would lead to such scandal. One evening, as I was mending a gown in the corner of the grand hall, I overheard two servants gossiping in hushed tones. "Did you hear?" whispered one servant, her eyes wide with excitement. "They say Princess Nandi's smell wasn't just a curse. It was a punishment from the spirits." The other servant gasped. "No. How can that be?" "It's true," insisted the first servant. "They say King Tobo angered the spirits with his greed and arrogance. The curse was meant to teach him a lesson, but Princess Nandi bore the brunt of it." I listened intently, my heart racing with intrigue. Could it be possible? Had Princess Nandi been cursed because of her father's actions? Days turned into weeks, and the whispers grew louder. Some nobles openly questioned Princess Nandi's legitimacy as a queen. They whispered behind closed doors, plotting to undermine her newfound happiness. But Princess Nandi remained steadfast. She showed grace under pressure, attending to her royal duties with dignity and compassion. Prince Adewale stood by her side, his love and support unwavering. One night, during a lavish banquet in honor of their upcoming wedding, Princess Nandi approached me with a troubled expression. "Luazi," she said softly, "there are dark forces at work here. I can feel it." I frowned, concern etching my brow. "What do you mean, Princess?" She glanced around cautiously before leaning in closer. I overheard a conversation between two courtiers. They spoke of a plot to discredit me, to tear us apart. My heart sank. Who would do such a thing? Princess Nandi sighed, her eyes filled with determination. "It doesn't matter. What matters is that we stay strong and united. Will you help me, Luazi?" I nodded without hesitation. "Of course, Princess. I will do whatever it takes to protect you." As the days passed, tensions in the palace reached a boiling point. Rumors swirled like a storm, threatening to unravel everything Princess Nandi and Prince Adewale had fought so hard to build. One morning, I received a cryptic message from an anonymous source. It warned of a secret meeting among the nobles, where plans were being made to sabotage the royal wedding. I knew I had to act quickly. With Princess Nandi's permission, I gathered evidence and presented it to King Tobo. His face darkened with rage as he read the incriminating letters and heard the testimonies of witnesses. The day of the royal wedding arrived amid a backdrop of uncertainty and suspicion. But Princess Nandi and Prince Adewale stood before the altar, their hands clasped together in a solemn vow of love and loyalty. As they exchanged rings and sealed their union with a kiss, the clouds above miraculously parted, and sunlight bathed the kingdom in a golden glow. It was as if the heavens themselves were blessing their union. The celebrations that followed were like none other in the history of Mbabane. The kingdom rejoiced, united in their support for Princess Nandi and Prince Adewale. The scandalous whispers faded into distant echoes, overshadowed by the triumph of love over adversity. And as for me, well, I continue to serve Princess Nandi with pride. What have you learned from Princess Nandi's story? Look beyond appearance. Princess Nandi's story teaches us not to judge people solely by their appearance or challenges. What about kindness and empathy? My compassion towards Princess Nandi shows that kindness and empathy can make a real difference in someone's life. Do we need to give up in life? Princess Nandi's determination to find a solution reminds us of the importance of perseverance in overcoming obstacles. What about honesty? It builds trust. Prince Adewale's honesty about the situation demonstrates how being truthful can foster trust and understanding. Love transcends challenges. Despite facing difficulties, Princess Nandi found love with someone who accepted her unconditionally. Thanks for watching. What have you learned from this story? Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more inspiring stories. Let's spread positivity and learn from each other's experiences. See you next time.